Charges in the shooting death of CBC high school student Colin Brown. It comes after weeks of mystery surrounding Brown's death from a random bullet while driving on I-55. Chris Hayes was the first to report the breakthrough and joins us live.
Patrick, as some people were beginning to give up hope about getting answers in the interstate shooting, police were putting together an evidence trail using witnesses, shell casings, and real-time crime center cameras. This video we showed you exclusively this week on Minnesota Avenue is where court records indicate the shooting occurred. Police say it was a drug deal gone wrong that led to the firing of at least 20 shots onto I-55 that November night. But instead of the intended target being struck, an innocent passenger riding by, Colin Brown, was struck in the neck and later died.
What's up, everybody? This is Mr. 100K a day with another episode here with 100K Paralegal Services. And today we're talking about the rapper Yellowtapee, aka Garrett Jordan. Now, Garrett Jordan just got released from federal prison for a probation violation. You know, as tragic as it is, and as it was, Colin Brown is the son of Calvin Brown. Calvin Brown is a former Illinois State Police lieutenant. He was a police officer. He's retired. He was a police officer for more than a quarter of a century. And, you know, so I'm sure this incident hit close to home. I'm sure he was accustomed to investigating crimes. He was accustomed to dealing with violence, accustomed to dealing with murder scenes. So I'm sure seeing that bullet come through the window, through the glass, or through the door, it probably came through the glass and hitting his son in the neck. I'm pretty sure it was traumatic for him, but he knew exactly what it was when it occurred. So, you know, one of the things that I find interesting is that this is a black man married to a white woman, and he raising, you know, mixed kids. You know, oftentimes mixed kids, you know, they have a lot of sociological issues. They're confused. They have identity issues. And Colin being a mixed kid playing ice hockey anyway is, you know, is questionable. He wouldn't be if his father had been married to a black woman, he wouldn't be coming home from ice hockey practice. He'd been coming home from basketball practice, and that bullet wouldn't have been there to hit him. Well, the bullet would have been there, but he wouldn't have been there. He would have been at track practice. He would have been getting ready for football practice. This is football season right now, or the end of football season. So he should have been playing football anyway. So I think it's a tragic situation. But, you know, here we are, a black ex-police officer who probably did some things he shouldn't have been doing as a police officer, because that's just what the nature of the business is. You know, law enforcement has oftentimes been used as an instrument for racism and to, you know, discriminate against black people throughout the United States. So to see this black man married to a white woman and have a mixed kid who's playing ice hockey, and the fact that he's playing ice hockey probably made him even biased towards, you know, black kids in general in the city of St. Louis. So the kid that probably, you know, fired the bullet that ended up killing Colin Brown is probably a kid that Colin Brown wouldn't have even want to hang out with anyway. Not because of where he's from, but because of who he is. Oftentimes these mixed kids don't even like young black men like Garrett Jordan. Garrett Jordan is now charged with killing him. And I'm sure he wasn't you know, based on the evidence, he wasn't the only one that fired bullets, because like I said, there were 20 shell casings there and multiple types of shell casings. So there was more than one gun being fired. So I think this is interesting, very interesting. And I hope that, you know, the family gets justice. But I think it's unfortunate that this black father had his son at hockey practice anyway. He should have been at basketball practice, boxing, Muay Thai, kickboxing, Taekwondo, track and field. There were a multitude of other things that he could have been doing other than hockey. And I think this was just an unfortunate situation that played out, and he's going to have to now deal with the consequences of what occurred. One of the things that I noticed, you know, is that when it's a mixed kid or white kid that dies in these types of circumstances, in violence, public violence like this, usually the tenacity in which the law enforcement has when they pursue these investigations is a lot more intense. You notice it. If this was a regular black kid, if he wasn't the son of a retired black police officer, you know, if he wasn't mixed, I can just about guarantee you they wouldn't use all these resources. FBI raids, do all this investigation to try to find out who committed this crime. You know, oftentimes these crimes go unsolved. You know, I think that's pretty clear as the way it works in St. Louis in the criminal justice system. They just don't pursue incidents where the victims are black the same way like they pursue other victims. So maybe they got a little more behind this one because of the fact that the Illinois State Police were behind the victim's father because he had been working for them for 26 years. He was a lieutenant. So I also think that, people need to be aware of the way they interact with one another. That little kid that died, he shouldn't have died in that way. And I think that this rapper, Yellowtapee or whatever, I think that he wasn't the only shooter, but I feel like the recidivism problem, especially with a lot of these federal inmates, like the recidivism rate with them coming back within just within 6 months or a year, it is extremely high in St. Louis. I see this all the time, case after case after case. A guy who hasn't been out of federal prison for literally a year is oftentimes charged with very, very serious offenses within the year of being released, or they're killed. Off the top of my head, I could think of probably 50 cases in which I know in the St. Louis metropolitan area where this has occurred. So, for this rapper, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. He has other people who were with him during the course of this crime. He's charged with a very public, very serious offense, first-degree murder, armed criminal action, first-degree assault, felon possession of a firearm. Very serious offenses. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Tell me what you guys think. Do you guys think that this case will be pursued the same way it was had the victim been black, or if the victim's father had not been a former police officer? Tell me what you guys think. I think this is going to be an interesting one. I think it's going to still be tragedy because you can't bring Colin Brown back. But hopefully the family gets some justice somewhere. And I don't know what justice is in this case because we can't even say if this kid who's charged even fired the bullets. Can't even say that. So we'll see how this plays out. Till next time, guys, please like, subscribe, share this video. Tell me what you guys think. 100K Paralegal Services. And until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.